Yeah, I did too. Wow. Yeah. I know. I thought we fixed that.
I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:30, and we're broadcasting. Recording is on. So welcome everyone. You're going to speak. Remember, you have your microphones turned on, and you each have a everyone has a packet here. First thing I'm going to ask for is we need a motion. Since there are only 5 members, I would like a motion to appoint Patrick and Heather, the first to arrive, as voting members tonight and sitting at the
We're
table.
at 5 o'clock again.
So moved.
Well,
Okay,
6:10.
so Matt moved. Is there a
I
second?
came from UNH.
I'll
So I'm not
second.
gonna like go home and
All
then
in
come back.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So it's Heather and
And Patrick. Pull a picture.
Before we get into the public minutes, which are in your packet, I would like a motion to seal the non-public minutes from January.
So
But
moved.
I would like to do that at the end of the meeting.
Oh, we can seal them now.
We can seal them now and then work on the draft at the end of the meeting.
You mean review the draft?
Review the draft at the end of the meeting. Is there, Matt, you made a
Well,
motion?
if you're sealing the minutes from, that were approved in January,
We sealed the December minutes. I found them in the minutes.
Correct.
We sealed the December.
correct. Did we do that following their approval or, okay?
Approved as amended.
And so should we not review them first today
We have to-
in non-public and then approve and seal them at that point? Correct,
We didn't approve them,
which we have not yet approved.
Right.
so we can't.
They're still
seal 'em.
draft.
No,
Right?
okay, so we'll do that at the end of the meeting.
When we go into non-public session, correct?
Okay.
And then we come out of non-public and approve it in public.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Or did we seal the December minute?
Yes, I saw that in the
Okay.
December minutes, yes. Okay, very confusing
Carry
day. Okay, the public minutes for January are in your pack if you want to take a look at them, and if you have any corrections, additions, edits.
I have a couple.
Okay, let me get my copy out here.
Yeah, so, members present, I was present via videocom.
Yes, I
Right.
actually went through these tonight, and I did mark you as remote, so.
Yeah,
I
okay, so
changed
you
that.
added me.
Oh, so you are, okay.
And also,
Lipinski.
Michelle, you're showing yourself as acting secretary. I thought we voted you secretary effective January 1.
We did.
We did. You are no longer acting, you are it.
Okay.
And then third, my last name is misspelled throughout the document. It's Lip. Yes.
Okay. Anyone have any other corrections, additions, notes?
Yes, I had mentioned to Michelle that I left the meeting during the snowplow discussion prior to non-public.
All right,
Okay.
so I'll just make a note of that you left, I'm not gonna say a time, but that you left after that discussion before.
Okay, so
Non-public.
Roberts. Okay. Anything else? Give you another minute to look at the minutes.
Find all the Lipinskis.
I think I've got the second paragraph, third paragraph. And they add me to the first one. and spell it correctly.
I believe I spelled Nauto's name correctly, if anyone else has any information.
Then at the end here, last two paragraphs,
I think I changed those.
1, 2, 3 places, and then the very last paragraph,
Okay.
and then a deletion at the very, very end, no pro tem. Just
Secretary. Okay, is there a motion on the minutes to approve as amended?
so moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And approved. Thank you very much. It's here. Okay. Next in your packet, bills and reimbursements. I'd like to go through that. Bob Magnuson submitted invoices to me for a total of $52.97 for fuel from mowing the Stevens Field. This is over the summer. We've paid one invoice of $20. This is for the balance of the warm months. Do I have a motion to reimburse Bob for the $52.97?
I move.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll submit this to Jillian tomorrow. Okay, done. Okay, easement. Old business, anything on the easement monitoring lease? Okay. Okay, one left. Thank you. Budget, I have under old business, item B, the budget. When we came to the end of the budget year, we had approximately $3,100 left, and I asked the select board to encumber $3,000 to put it towards next year, and they checked that with the New Hampshire Municipal Association and approved it. So we will carry that over so we can cover costs that are coming up. So that was approved.
What contract was that encumbered towards?
Anna, our consultant. We got a later start using her because of the delay in getting all the paperwork done. So, and there was a valid contract, so we were approved.
Can you get us copies of whatever the final budget for this year that was approved?
Yeah, yes.
Budget committee and select board?
For the
For
whole budget
for
or our
conservation?
budget?
Just our budget,
Yeah.
sorry, our budget. Just so we
Sure,
know what
sure.
actually was approved.
Right. I think it's actually like last year, except for $1 more, but I will get a copy. Andrea has just started, and they're working through all the systems, so as soon as I can get a copy from the town
Probably
administrator, I will
next
do
month
that.
or something,
Yep.
just so we could have an idea of what,
Okay.
if you don't remember what last
Budget.
year's was.
For 2025. Last year it was 12,703. This year it's 12,704. Okay. Conservation Stewardship Fund. Rob had shared last month some of the items that had come in through the listserv. We didn't take, I'd like to just pass this by this week and work on it later on. There are some other things I think we need to spend time on tonight. If that's all right, I'll post, if we can table this till the next meeting. Yeah. But I didn't want to overlook that. Next item is Pickpocket Dam. As you may know from postings on Facebook, there are some meetings and protests going on by the people who want to retain the dam. And the dates are posted. That's on the Water Street Bridge, Saturday, February 15, 10 to 12. Saturday, February 27, 10 to 12. This was an email from Catherine Edison, who's in Exeter. And there's also a meeting on March 9 from a Free the Exeter River group. I'm assuming they're for removing the dam, but I haven't found any more details on them. If anyone knows anything about that group or what they're doing, if they're doing protests or communicating.
I got an email from Joni Pratt, which I think I forwarded to you,
No.
which I think they're having the Great Bay water keeper come to a meeting, and
Okay.
yes, they are in favor of removing it, and they were going to have an educational session as
Okay.
to why
So
they
is,
felt that way.
so is that the March 9
Yes.
meeting? Okay, and do you know where that's going to be, Rob?
That was the congregational.
I don't know.
It was
I
next.
could,
It's one of
Okay.
the churches next.
Okay, one of the churches. Maybe it's the
Maybe it's the
Unitarian, maybe? Yeah. So there should be some things on Facebook to look that up. Okay. Okay. Recreation, an update. Last month, we approved and had a document that Heather wrote with information about concerns that we expressed regarding the drainage and irrigation of the playing fields. That was forwarded to Julie Valevis and to Andy Gray. I saw him a couple days ago, and he said that they were going to discuss it on the 22nd, but their meeting was postponed to the 29th because he had the flu. And they discussed it in brief on the 29th, and Andy has since met with the gentleman who's Hillside Landscaping, who's done the proposal, and they have walked the land, and they're going to discuss it and have a response to the message in the next couple of weeks. So they're aware of what our concerns are, and they're going to be discussing that, and the landscape designer is going to come back with information. That's what I have right now. I had no handout for that. Annual report in your in your packet, you have a copy of what's going into the town's annual report that is written about the Conservation Commission. Right now, Steph Lewenden is doing the layout of the annual report, so this looks a little different than what we usually do. But the deadline for this is the end of this week, so if there's any changes you see in this, let me know. But it's a compilation of what we've done this year, some of the decisions we've made and activities we've followed through on, and people who are involved. They were keeping it to one page, so this is our report, similar to what was done last year. Nothing earth-shakingly different.
And normally, ESSERLAC's annual report is included as well. Do we know if that's come
Yes,
in?
I believe that. I don't know if that's come in. There was an email from Letty last week saying that of all the reports, only 2 had been received, and they were going to follow up.
Normally, it would come through us, I think.
I don't think
No.
that is in there.
No?
No.
You don't think what?
I don't think ESSERLAC is in it.
Okay.
And
So we
I
should
didn't
follow up with them.
I didn't receive anything from them as a preliminary report.
Okay. I will follow up with our representative.
They probably have already written a report. They just need to submit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think that would go directly to the
To
town administrator?
could go to the town administrator with a note to Steph Lewin, well, to ask them to distribute it to Steph, who's working on the draft.
Thank you.
Okay. So, to notify you all that welcome, Emma. To let you know that the Open Space Committee is meeting on February 19, that's next Wednesday at 4:30 in the town office. No agenda has been officially drafted to date, but we always welcome visitors in public session, so to let you know, we meet in the room down there because we need a big table to spread out on. So I'm currently working on an article for the March newsletter. I've notified Robin. It'll be an article about the importance of conserving land and what the long-term costs of development are in a town. There's a great article by the Conservation Commission about this, so I thought it'd be good to post this at this time.
There's a great article by the Conservation Commission.
Yes. Yes, about a bill about the New Hampshire Conservation Commission. It's in your
Conservation Association. What?
New Hampshire Association of
Okay,
Conservation
gotcha.
Commissions.
Thank you.
Mixed up my language. I won't tell you about my last week. Okay. Yes. And we're going to continue to reach out to landowners and answer questions they may have, and if they'd like, meet with them. So to let you know that we're continuing to work. Item number H is the CONCOM Speaker Series. I'm going to make that the official name of this program, which happens alternate months. Rob, you have scheduled March.
Yep. Yeah, so for March, Emily Nichols from the New Hampshire Aquatic Resource Mitigation Program has agreed to make a 15 to 20-minute presentation on the program, how the town can apply for monies from that when it comes out, what the different options are for us. We have used the grant in the past for the railroad improvements that we did with the stairs and some wetlands and engineered wetlands and things. So yeah, so she'll be with us.
Very good, very good. So we will skip April, but May, the question is, Bruce, we have talked about inviting the people from Green Snow to do a presentation. Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. 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 Comply. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. 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 Mm-hmm. 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 Yep. Yep. Okay. What does the board think?
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be after our winter season in time for education and information before the beginning of a new cycle. Timing seems good. Yeah, yeah.
You know, if, in terms of time allotment, you set up to an hour and then question and answer. So do we want to,
Limit, yeah. I think an hour is quite a lot of time.
Typically, we've been asking speakers to limit it to about 20 minutes.
Yeah, with questions, yeah.
If this is bigger than us, though, with the select
Yeah.
board and the
right,
planning
so I'm
board.
wondering, does it make sense to kind of start our meeting earlier with that as
Yeah,
the startup?
okay. Okay.
Right, and especially if other boards are gonna attend as well, it makes sense to start.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. So an hour seems accommodating to the needs to get the whole program out there, but starting earlier, maybe at 6? Okay, we can move our meeting to 6 then for May. We're usually 6:30. For 6.
No, it's 6.
He'd be the
would start
first.
So that
He would
wouldn't
start
have
it,
to wait.
yes. And could you then work on that and let the plan, will they send out an invitation to the other boards? Okay. Planning board, obviously. ZBA, is that something, Doug? Yeah, okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. Very good.
Depending how many people that's gonna end up being, we might wanna have it
In
at the
another
rec or
location?
something. Although we can't record it at the rec.
No, we can't record it at the rec.
I don't know, just thinking of space, but we'll figure that out. This will be
Yeah.
sufficient?
Won't be
Okay.
a crowd. Well, we can bring some more chairs in if we need to. We could move this up a little bit. Yeah, yeah, we can do that. We'll see what the response is when you notify the other boards, and if we have to make a change, we'll do that. But so 6 o'clock on May 14, I think, is the Wednesday. And, okay, okay. Did you say something last time about using a liquid on roads before?
Right.
That's part, right. Yeah, yeah. Wow,
I plow privately and we don't throw sand at all. It's just salt. We whole hopper of salt is the only thing we use.
interesting. Right, right. Yeah, yeah. 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 Have been in Virginia twice in the last couple of weeks, and surprisingly, there were snowstorms down in Virginia, and that's what they were doing. They were putting the brine on the roads, very different process. And my sister said it's very effective. I mean, she's lived down there for 10 years. So. Yeah, the brine. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. So it'll be interesting in May. Thank you, Bruce. I wanted to put on the list a couple of other suggestions. I met with an officer up at the USDA in Epping, and they've offered, if we're interested at some point, to have an officer from the staff up in Epping to come and do a presentation to us about USD opportunities for conservation and what they're doing. So I can keep that on the list. And then
Might change in the next few months.
it may change in the next few months, but we'll put them on the list.
Sounds good.
And I also have met with the new town administrator on a couple of items and said, if you'd like to stop by and attend one of our meetings, you are most welcome. Just let us know. There's no obligation. I'm not pushing you. You're new to what you're doing, but you're welcome to attend our meetings. And this is the day we do it during the month, the second Wednesday of the month. So she's grateful for the invitation. We'll see when she can find the time to do that. So she's been invited. No presentation, just to attend to meet us. Okay. Community events, updates. Patrick.
Okay. Last meeting, we discussed inviting Fish and Game down to do an adult speaker series, is what they call it. And the timing on that's about a 3-month. You tell them now, they'll have a date for you, whatever, and we could pick and choose.
Yeah.
I think we kind of agreed that the library would probably be the best spot for it. And I have the list of possible options of topics. There's not a lot of them.
What
just
are
throwing it out there. We have black bears, we have brook trout, we have bobcats, and we have moose.
Oh. You see so much on Facebook about bobcats in people's backyards. I wonder if that would be, my personal view, be something that would be interesting. And they would send the speaker out and it...
Correct. Yep. They you schedule it with them, and it's an hour presentation made for adult audience.
Yeah.
I mean, you could schedule a kids one if we wish, but I think that's the idea. They have a
Okay.
presentation. I'm sure a lot of handouts, that kind of stuff.
And ultimately, we can do all of them, right? Or we-
Yeah, I'm sure you could schedule all of them.
Yeah.
Bobcats, moose, and what were the other two?
Black bear and brook trout.
Black bear and brook trout. Interesting.
I didn't want to force everyone to do bobcats. That was just my initial gut reaction, that's...
Yeah.
No, I think that'll be probably the most catching for the general
Yeah.
population.
Maybe.
Little petting.
So you need to check with the library to find a date
that works.
that works for them. And is there a cost to this? No?
No.
Okay. Okay. So if you come back to us with it, do you want to pick a date? What is this? Is it February now? March,
It is February.
April?
Yeah, we'd be looking sometime March or April.
April? Does that sound?
Okay.
Pick a date in April? March is busy with elections and town meetings and all of that. April, I don't know, remember when Easter falls in April?
I have the
You
next
have-
thing is April. So
Okay, okay.
April is a bit busy, and it's also Earth Day, so that would be.
That's
May.
our roadside cleanup,
Yeah.
okay. So maybe it's May,
Sure, I can shoot from there.
okay. And let us know what dates are available at the
Absolutely.
library,
Yeah.
okay.
And then Earth Day falls on the 22nd of April, which is the day after Easter. So it's a Tuesday. So obviously that's not the day
Yeah.
we'd run with.
Yeah,
Our options would be that weekend of Easter, so that's Saturday, which I would personally not be able
Yeah.
to do, and I also don't think I'd be the best
right,
attendance wise. So my recommendation would be we use the following weekend, the 26th and 27th of April,
April.
as
okay.
our cleanup Earth Day weekend.
Okay. And as has happened in recent years, Recreation asks the groups that use the fields to do their own field cleanup, so we don't coordinate with them right now. That's when they want to get their fields ready, they do their cleanup. So this would be purely the town, not the
Yeah.
not the recreation fields. What do you think of 26, Saturday the 26th? Does that look good? Okay. I know Andy and Debbie were very helpful last year, herding the people together. Oh, dear.
Well,
Is
that'll
that an
be a
evening?
night
Is
though.
that an evening?
Oh.
We'll be done by then.
Yeah.
We'll
It'll
get
be
rained
morning.
on. It'll be fine.
Okay.
And my hope is to get Swayze, once we have the date, to get Swayze on board and try and do coordinate with the elementary school for
Okay.
pickup.
Good idea. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. And we'll do our usual order of coffee and donuts
Yep.
and maybe hot chocolate. We'll see what is available from Heavenly Donuts, I guess. Okay, thank you, Patrick. And we did the wildlife, so we're talking about May, and you're getting the date. Make a note here.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to mention, thank you very much, Patrick. Just wanted to mention that at the last meeting, and posted on Facebook, there was a reminder of the event on February 18 at the Hampton Recreation and Senior Center. It's a conservation program, just like we did, having speakers in a panel to talk about the benefits of recreation in the process. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. The speakers are Sarah Callahan from the UNH Cooperative, Rayanne Dione, who's the Seabrook Hampton Estuary Alliance employee, Alice Tonry, who lives in Exeter and did an easement at Tonry Christmas Tree Farms, and Lori Summer from Coastal Watershed Land she's the Coastal Watershed Land Conservation Manager for CELT. So that's their 4-person panel. That's February 18, 6 to 8, Hampton Recreation and Senior Centers. It's open to the public. So if there's anyone you know, a neighbor, please share that. It did go onto our Facebook.
I can repost that.
If you could repost that, yeah. 18th is Monday?
I believe so.
Monday. So we got a little notice here.
What's it called?
It's like a land conservation workshop.
Land Conservation Workshop,
Not a name or anything.
a Tuesday. Oh, that's right, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
Tuesday. I don't remember the name of the program. I just wanted to remind you folks about that. And Patrick will repost that. If I can just go back briefly, I forgot to mention one thing when we were talking about Emily Nichols coming. I received a notice from Brenton Quigley, who's the engineer who worked on the Prescott project. They've submitted their final report on what the mitigation will be required, and they will put that into the mitigation fund. I don't remember the amount, but I got that email today, so I will forward it to people who are interested in that.
I'm wondering what the timing is and whether any
Well, they've
potential
just-
projects we had would be eligible, because the first choice is to keep it in town if
Yes.
it's a project.
Yes.
So I don't know if we researched that at all, whether there was any
I think their deadline to submit all the information was the end of this month, so I don't think any decision has been made yet. They've just submitted their final calculations on what mitigation is required. I will forward you that email. I don't have
okay,
anything more.
Maybe I'll call that program director, Emily,
Yeah.
and see what
Yep,
the options are,
Yep.
because
it'd be nice to
ideally, if
keep
we
it
have
here.
some warning, we can
Yep,
see if we have a conservation project or
yep,
even other things, maybe, I don't know if culverts are eligible or
Yeah.
things like that, but.
Yeah. If you could gather the information, that would be great. Thank you,
Okay.
Rob. Oh,
Right.
this year. Okay,
So it's not even approved,
conditionally approved.
but they're not starting or, yeah. Oh, okay.
So that gives us time to come up with projects that might meet the criteria.
Well, we could ask, maybe
Yep.
they need to indicate that
Yep.
on their application or something.
Okay. Okay, back to the agenda. We're on new business, item number 4. I wanted to first, with regret, accept that Matt Lipinski's term as a member of the Conservation Commission ends this month. That's what he originally signed up to serve 3 years ago, and at that time, the terms were until the beginning of March. So this is his final meeting.
Swan song.
Swan song, yes. What is a
Is that why
swan
we have the
song?
Microphone up here?
That's right. That microphone, you
Oh, and he
karaoke
sings.
microphone, right.
He sings. We should just have him sing a song.
Yeah.
Um,
Good night, ladies.
Yes. So thank you very much, Matt, for doing the secretary role for at least a year and a half, I
2
think it
years,
was.
yeah.
2 years,
Yeah.
yeah. And all
Well,
of
not
his
quite
notes
2
have been
years.
turned over to me, so I have all the secrets that he put on about conservation from his emails. So thank you again, and wanted to note the service.
Well,
So,
thank Becky. I've enjoyed it. It's amazing how fast 3 years go by. And
yeah,
it's been fun. I've enjoyed working with all of you and meeting a number of you who I hadn't known before Conservation Commission.
yeah.
And yeah, I chose not to seek appointment to a subsequent term. I've just got, it's amazing how much time grandkids take when you're not the primary care provider, but you're the backup. And we've been doing a lot of backing up, it seems lately, but loving every minute of it. While I'm thinking of it, just a couple housekeeping items. Patrick, if you would please remove me as an administrator on the Facebook page.
Okay.
And then I guess, Becky, you control the
Website.
the town website. So you need to
Yes.
remove me off that.
Okay.
I'm still showing on that as secretary too. You need to put Michelle's name in there.
That's my
Move
job,
her
actually.
picture up. That's your job.
Yeah, so Michelle will actually
I
do
will
that.
do that.
Okay.
Because due to some quirk, I can neither get on to do anything on the website with my home computer at home
Okay.
or here.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Michelle is my backup. I still
Good.
haven't
Well,
resolved
as
that
long as
issue.
somebody does it.
Yes,
Don't
someone will
fix
do
it.
that.
If I were you, I wouldn't fix
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And you can do
Yeah,
that.
right.
You
Just
can do
passing it
that.
on, keep
You can
passing
do that
it
right
on.
away. You don't have
Yes.
to wait till the end of
Yes.
the month.
Yes.
So, but again, thank you all. I've enjoyed it, and
Thank you.
I'll keep an eye on you.
We'll invite you to all the events.
Good. Thank you.
Good.
You can still come to the parties, right?
Yes, you can still come to the parties.
Great.
Um,
Well, thanks again.
You're welcome. So with the new process that is in place, I would at least like to, this evening, my thought, to promote the most senior alternate. I think it's Patrick, who has a term that expires in,
Oh, it does. It's a year term, yeah.
yeah, in June, to serve in Matt's place. He also already serves on the Energy and Efficiency Committee in Matt's place. I would like to have that motion to go forward and then check with the process to see if that's legal. But I would like to at least make that announcement to bring him on board, since he has been doing Matt's work part of the time and is doing some projects. Any feedback on that?
I'm not sure that's the process.
I know, I
think
know.
It just
I know.
is an open
The
spot
select
that
board
gets
has-
open to everybody to apply, whether it's a current alternate or other people. So.
I will
Yeah.
ask that.
Actually, I did a little research on that, and it appears that, yeah, the process is the select board will make new appointments in, I think, June is the time of year that they're
Yes.
now targeting.
Yes,
And so for the remainder of, March, April, May, you would just simply do what we did tonight and appoint an alternate, a voting member for that meeting.
okay.
I don't believe the commission could do that on its own.
We used to do that.
Did you?
We
Okay.
used to do that.
I
yes.
don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
the answer to that
Yeah.
specific question. You could certainly do it, perhaps subject to select board concurrence.
Yep.
If-
If we
if you wish to.
cannot, we will post for that.
Well, it'll be
For
posted,
June.
certainly beyond June. I'm sure it has to be posted, given the select board's new
Yes,
process.
yes.
But for an interim, 2-3 months, whatever it is,
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, we'll deal with that. Okay. Next on the agenda is,
I do think it's fine for us to recommend, though.
Okay.
Or for you to recommend them.
okay.
Whether they listen or not.
I mean, I thought the whole process was to avoid the committees recommending and then it going to the select board and being awkward if they had other people apply during the open process. So I thought the whole idea was to have one discussion at the select board meeting. versus recommendations.
I think that's true for new term appointments, for the 2 or 3 or 1 year terms, whatever it is. I would think that
But to
for
fill
a
a
3-month
vacancy mid-year?
interim, you might have some flexibility.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know that, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the select board's actually
Dealt with that.
dealt with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, they haven't.
Where's Paul when you need him?
Yeah,
They started this process last year, so they wouldn't have a,
I mean,
Right,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the first year they're doing it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Yeah.
just-
should we just postpone?
yeah. We'll just
anything
keep
until the
appointing, yeah.
next- you could get clarification on what,
Okay,
if they would like a recommendation for the next 2 months, or just
book
bill
about
with
that?
alternates until the main
I'll
process.
look it up.
we'd probably be posting in May anyway for all openings that exist, so, because it takes about 30 days posting online, and then they decide in the next month, so it might take a little while. So we'll keep appointing, but I will check with Andrea tomorrow on the written process. Okay, Michelle, you're next.
Okay, I'm next. So actually, Matt, you gave me a good segue. He said earlier that he didn't know a lot of us before he came on this commission. So I wanted to talk about an event that we're gonna be having here in Brentwood to kind of feed into that, getting to know different people in town again. It's kind of an idea I've had on my heart for probably at least 3 or 4 years. We're gonna revive the Brentwood Gathering. They had that event in 2001 they started it. And it was basically, we had it at the fire hall at the time, the old fire station. And it was all the groups in town, like the gardeners, the Conservation Commission, the Historical Society, all had a table, and you could come in and kind of learn about what activities there are in town, what you might want to get involved in. So I'd like that to be part of this event. In addition to having the groups, I'm going to ask some nonprofits to come. There's a horse rescue, and there's Austin 17 House. Again, just trying to introduce these organizations and stuff to people in town that may not know about it. And then the other thing I want to do is have a time for people to talk. I envisioned it in my head as like a speed dating thing. You go to but not for dating. Like, you get around a table. I mean, if you want, whatever. Whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. But, just kind of like questions on the table, like, hey, what do you know about me? What do you know about me besides that I'm on the commission, right? Well, you know me. But, like, let's get to know each other a little better. So that's my idea for the event. I've actually reserved the date of April 3rd at the rec center. And what I'm asking the commission to do is be a co-sponsor. But what that means simply is that we would have a table there. The commission would have a table there. Actually, the open space information would be a great thing that you could, maybe have a flyer or a poster and talk about. So just to be there and encourage other people to be there. We as a group don't necessarily have members beyond us, but just sort of talk it up, get excited about it, and let's get some people out that night to get to know each other.
I think it is interesting when you move into a town, unless you have children in school, you really don't get to meet a lot of people. So this is a way you might meet others who don't move in your circles and share interests and here's a volunteer opportunity. I might like to get involved or volunteer in some way. I think it's an interesting idea.
So that Brentwood Gathering back in 2001 is how I learned about the Gardener Club, or the gardeners that I joined at that time. And it's actually where I learned about this commission. I didn't get involved right away, but Jonathan Ellis was there talking about the commission.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like 6 to 8-ish.
Okay.
I haven't prepared any flyers or anything because I'm waiting to see who will be a part of it. So I'm asking us as a commission, I'll ask the Historical Society, the Friends of the Library, the Trails
Gardeners.
Committee,
Gardeners.
the Garden Club,
Yeah.
and the Rec Commission to all have tables. And then the nonprofits would be Austin 17 House, Hidden Pond Farm, and I know there's a cat something or other that's a nonprofit in town too.
Friends of the Library,
Yep,
maybe?
I'm
Friends
on
of the
there.
Library, yeah.
I'm on their agenda next week, so. I'm very excited. Please be excited with me.
I think it's excellent to bring people in town together, and many times we only see ourselves at meetings, and it could be
Mhm.
more confrontational, and yet we all have
Right.
these other lives. I would extend it to all the town committees, whether it's the planning board, if people want to have a question about what they're doing, or the energy committee. You know, I'm not sure how, you know, if it just could be open to
Yeah.
more, just to people
Yeah.
learn about town and see
Yeah.
who's volunteering, but I think it's an excellent idea,
Thank you.
and I will plan to attend.
Excellent.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I agree. I think it's a fabulous idea. And, you know, as Becky said, when you move to a community and you don't have kids in school, you know, as we did, and then you do it at the height of COVID, as we did, you know, we arrived in what, April 2020, whatever, you know, right when things were
Wait, you brought it to town?
blowing up. Right, yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Matt.
Wait,
Yeah.
now we're putting it
Now
together.
you finally know who brought it, right? That's all right. I've had it about 6 times, so. But yeah, I mean, we didn't know anybody forever, right? So we need more of this. I mean, this is, you know,
Yeah.
this is a great start, and let's, you know, let's do it more than once a year.
That's my hope. We'll start with one and maybe do it a couple of times, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
Did I forget anything? Okay.
So I'm sensing a general consensus that we are for it, and we will have a table at Michelle's event on April 3
April
at the
3rd.
Rec Center.
Yep.
Yeah, and we could talk later. I don't know how corny you want to be, but you could do things like a name tag with like a hobby, or where did you grow up? Just, they do it at the ski resorts, and you see the
Okay.
people, and they're like, I'm from, you know, Vermont, when you're in, you know, you're in Colorado, or, you know, I like to fly fish, or I'm whatever. And you get to, it's just like an icebreaker that's quicker.
Yep,
I don't know.
That's a fun
It depends
idea.
how
Yep.
corny you want to be. I mean,
Put
like-
your name and then alter ego in the name of your alter.
or superhero, or whatever you want.
yes, if anybody has any suggestions, feel free to share.
Do you have a committee working on this with you?
I do,
Would you like volunteers?
sure,
Okay, so you can volunteer to help Michelle,
yep.
either planning or setting up or
Yep.
cleaning up after the event.
Yep.
Yep.
We're gonna try and keep it as, you know, low maintenance as possible, but obviously we'll have the table set up. We'll have some high tables set up for the people to have conversations around.
yeah.
So there'll be a little bit, but hopefully it's pretty low-key,
Good.
at least for the first run.
Thank you. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Great.
Look forward to seeing the flyer for what
Thank you.
you post. So great. Thank you, Michelle. Okay. I've added Emma Lusigian to the agenda. So Emma, would you like to come up and be at the table or speak in the microphone and talk? Yes,
Oh,
Emma
that's
Laham.
right.
Laham. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta turn on.
Push the button, please.
There you
to the red
go.
light. There you go.
Okay. So Becky and I have been discussing ideas for engaging local youth in conservation. And so we had a meeting this week. There are a lot of resources available around here, a lot of opportunities for youth to be involved. But a couple things that are happening in other towns are Exeter has a trail passport to encourage youth and anyone in town really to go walking on their local trails. So in Exeter's, they have like 4 trails listed here, and if you walk on 3 of them and make a trail rubbing, they have like markings out on the trails that you have to find and do a rubbing. And if you walk 3 of the trails, you can bring it back to town and get a little prize. Nottingham has a similar thing. They have 10 trails that you can walk and rate them and make some notes about your walk. And then you get a badge after you walk the 10 trails. So we're sort of developing this idea, if everybody likes this idea. We have several trails in town that we could come up with some little program like this to get people out and enjoying the trails and come up with some sort of prize or badge. My kids love badges.
Yes, and whatever the results are, we would certainly include any information in a new resident packet or on the town website about activities that are for children or youth.
Mhm.
Just a way we draw people to conservation, but we rarely see kids involved in it. So I think it's an interesting outreach to extend. We only do one public event right now. We do the roadside cleanup. This might be something else we could sponsor for kids to get involved in. So if you like the idea, Emma has done a great amount of research. I think we should proceed. I personally think we should proceed to come up with a plan.
It's pretty low input on
Yeah.
our end
Yeah.
to just sort of like provide the resource and then.
Yeah.
Do we want to do like a art contest for a sticker design or a
I
badge
love that.
design?
I love that idea. I don't have a pencil, but I'm gonna put it on my phone. That's a great idea, like the I voted stickers.
Yep.
I could run that by the elementary school when I talk to them about
Yeah, it's
the
part of the.
roadside cleanup day.
Cool.
If that is what we wish to do.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, anything to get kids involved
Yeah.
would be
Mhm.
great.
Like the nicer stickers, like are big on water bottles.
Yep.
So we could do that, or I mean, the badge is nice too, but it just adds cost. So
Yeah.
we can decide
Yep.
what price point we want, but those are good
Mhm.
options.
Yep. There was,
I love it.
there was another, wasn't there something, the passport was one thing you mentioned, but there was something,
Oh, we talked about geocaching is something that my kids like to do, that we could put geocaches out on the trails. That could be like the thing that people are looking for when they're out there.
Do we know if there's any geocaches on?
There
I'm sure
are
it's
several
has- yeah.
geocaches in town. I haven't looked, I haven't crossed that
Yeah.
map with this map
Yeah.
yet.
good. I think there's some great ideas there, and I think you have the enthusiasm of conservation to go forward with this, to involve kids and educate kids about conservation.
I know, like in the past, we've done like on a weekend vernal pool presentation that we did have families and kids out at. Because there's a vernal pool on the back of Swayze.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've done over the years a few things that
Yep.
got stuff out. So it might be time to revisit some of those as well.
Yep. Good, okay. So you have a yes from us?
And so do we need to come up with a budget or something? And do we have money in a budget we have town?
We have
events, I
town
think?
events in our budget, yes.
Okay, so we could buy some stickers. and
Yes, we could do
things.
that, yes.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I'll work this idea through a little more and
Come back,
come back with something.
yes, in
next
March.
time.
Has anybody talked to Debbie Briscoe, Trails Committee?
That's on my list.
Yeah.
But on the Brentwood website, she has done a great job. Every trail has a map, and so it's really like all the information is already there.
Great, thank you very much, Emma.
Thank you.
I like the geocaching.
Right?
Or you put little things in there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
Something to find. Yeah.
Thank you, Emma. Okay, I think in your packet.
What if we did, sorry, I'm
No, go ahead.
brainstorming
No,
now.
she's excited now, yes.
What if we did like a scavenger hunt in town? Like we have like the largest trees and the boulders and the vernal pools. Like, what if we like put together some sort of scavenger hunt?
That was sort of the idea. Something where there's geocaching or trail rubbing or you're looking for
Yeah.
Yeah, could we all be part of the passport, not only trails, but
Yeah.
other.
So send any ideas you have on to forward to Emma as she puts this together and comes back with us next month. You're welcome. Thank you. In your packet is an article from the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions. I believe that's in your packet, about a bill that's before the legislative body in New Hampshire. I think it's a Senate bill. And it talks about the bill would encourage, the bill would be to remove some of the funds that go into current use, giving developers a little bit more of a break to build housing. This was a special message from NHACC, and I wanted to pass this on. Your feelings about any testimony regarding this Senate bill. Getting feedback from commissions is important. You can do it as an individual. The concern is that without some of these restrictions and without the money going into current use, there would be less resources for conservation in the state. And there are a lot of small towns who don't have the kind of resources we might have with conservation bonds. So please read that. I just thought it'd be important to pass this on to you. I know there is a big press for housing in the state, and I know we have a couple of bills about a couple of grants through the planning board about ways we can expand our housing options in town. So please think about this carefully, what your response would be and what you would like to do on this. But I thought it would be good to bring this to your attention.
I sat on the Farm Bureau committee about the land use. They redrafted the agricultural land use evaluation, set up the exact equation they used to evaluate land and set the current use rate. And there's two of them. There's timber and agriculture use. And I don't think changing the way that money is put aside and that requirement that it is the full tax property over those years, which I think is what this bill does. It removes some of the it would decrease the cost to take it out of current use.
Yeah.
I would personally be opposed to that. I wish the recommend the Conservation Commission be opposed to it. It's a fantastic program, current use. It's in most states. It's particularly useful in New Hampshire. It's relatively easy to use for landowners who hold tracts of land up to over 10 acres. And it's a relatively fantastic program, which doesn't permanently take land out of development. It just increases the cost. So if the land's really valuable, they can still develop it, but it really kind of makes a bit of more of a discussion
More
about
of a
why.
halt, yeah.
It also reduces the taxes of the person who puts the land in current use. So it increases the opportunity to keep that land undeveloped as the owner would choose to.
Is there any movement towards wanting to make a statement from the Conservation Commission or to allow it to individuals to reply? We haven't made, as far as I know, any commission statements on any bills in my history here.
I'm not sure I understand what exactly
But-
this is to be
yeah.
able to vote on any sort of
Right.
statement. Unless,
So read and
I
if
don't know
you,
when comments are due. But
I think we can just. I think we're fine with
Yep.
the I mean, the association is why we have the association
Yes.
is to comment on this kind of thing, and I'm fine with what they've commented. I have
Okay.
no problem with it.
okay. But we're more informed now about what might be happening. Okay. Other business. Okay, next meeting is Wednesday, March 12th, but I would like a motion to go into non-public about the minutes from January 8, as well as a couple of properties that we're discussing.
can I ask
And
a
we-
question before we go?
Yes,
When we go into non-public, are the alternates included?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
yes, yes, because we want them to be as
No, I
informed on
agree.
every project that's before the board, so the next time if they're voting, they have the background.
I just know from prior experience, some times in the past, the alternates were excluded. So I just
Okay.
was checking, so
I do have a
appreciate that.
question, though. What about the Open Space Committee? Because the Open Space Committee, right now, there are two people who are not alternates on the Open Space Committee or members, but they're integral to the discussion
Yeah.
of what's going on.
I think we can invite anyone into the
Non-public?
non-public
You
section.
can.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Like, they just need to be listed in the minutes as
yes,
Yeah.
being invited and
Yes.
attending.
yes. Okay,
Should we do that before we vote to go into non-public? Vote
The
to
vote-
allow.
the vote-
me-
the
would
vote- the
include-
vote's
we
in
would-
public.
Yeah, we would include any invitees in the motion.
okay, okay.
Make a motion, we go into non-public and include basically everyone in the room.
We include Bruce.
Well,
Bruce
Bruce
is,
has been pretty integral to the open space effort also. It's up to you, but
your feelings, we'll keep Bruce, okay?
that's my personal, since.
I'll second that motion with Bruce.
This has to be an oral vote, so
I'm getting everybody's
Michelle,
name. Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Aye.
Patrick,
Aye.
Lise,
Aye.
Becky, aye. So it's unanimous. But I'm going to close the door.
Okay, so we're going into
Thank you.
non-public.
Thank you.
And we need to,
For what
Aye.
reason?
Oh,
Said
can you
hi.
turn this off, Michelle?
Well, maybe I am, I don't know.
Patrick, can you turn off the broadcast?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, it should just be that.
And do we also shut off our microphones?
No, we're not broadcasting.
But we leave the microphones on.